I really wasn't. Well, we'll get to going through that in a second. But sometimes you go through that and it's like, who am I? Who am I? Nobody stops to think about that. It's like you get told, oh, you're 16, or you're African American, or you're a girl, or you're a student, or you're in 11th grade. But we don't ever stop and say, but what do I think about who I am, you know? When you figure out who you are, you're essentially tapping into your story. We're going to really talk about the power of your story. And sometimes what I've noticed is that we don't like to talk about our stories because like we're taught, I know, I grew up in a household, what happens in this house stays in this house. You know, you can't really share who you really are. You don't want to share your story too much because then you're giving away your power. But that's totally not true, and I'm going to show you how. When you honor and live, when you honor your truth and live in it, you're tapping into your personal power. What may happen sometimes is that we may compare ourselves to others, thinking that they have it all together. So what we do is, I love to call it putting on a mask, right? We put a mask to either fit into a group. Maybe there's a group where everybody's like this over here. So you want to fit into that group, so you put in the mask to fit into group, knowing good and well you don't fit into that group, or you put on a mask because you don't want anyone to know who you really are. You don't want anyone to know you're really sarcastic. So even though you are sarcastic, you're gonna like shut up on your sarcasm, like I don't want these people to know. But that's who you really are. So can anyone tell me what their definition of a mask is? No? Nobody? I want to take a stab at it? A mask? No?
When you're trying to fit in, something that covers who you really are.
What you think, who you think you are, or what you like and want to be.
When you're pretending to be someone that you're not.
Oh, perfect. You guys all pretty much said it. A mask is really something that we put on to disguise, to conceal, or to hide. Why do you think that we as women, as young girls, young women, tend to put on masks?
Because we're expected to fit into the same category of like having the same expectations in life and having been through the same things being a good thing, not something bad. So if something bad happens to you, don't talk about it.
Kayla?
And adding to what she's saying, it's almost like you need to compete with one another. And it's tough to like try to see yourself in the same place as someone else, but you want to be better than them. And that's what we're taught. We're taught to be a strong, independent woman, but kind of defeat and like beat everyone else down, which is
Okay, that's perfect.
Adding to what she said, I believe that expectation sometimes drives us to eventually wearing a mask at a certain point in our lives.
What type of expectation?
Like, for example, you may want to be something and you want to prove yourself, but you don't necessarily have the means or anything like that. So you have to wear that mask. You see, like that's the only solution.
Yeah, that's really good. Some hands are up over here.
Either you're scared to be judged, or you just like you don't want people. You want to put on like a certain persona that you know is not really you.
Ooh, you said it. Okay.
To add on to what she said, you're just scared to show who you really are because you just feel like who you really are is not good enough.
You guys are so smart. I don't know why I'm here, but I know I'm here, but you guys are really smart. You guys said everything and you hit it on the head. I don't know if you guys remember when we talked about fear at this class. I know some of you were at the last year.